Hello, Al Capone. I'm glad you could make it today on Meet the Press. Today we will be talking about prohibition and your views on it.
Sounds good. I'm glad that I could be here today.
How do you feel about the government adding the 18th Amendment to the Constitution on January 16, 1920?
I think that adding the 18th Amendment to the Constitution is a good thing for our country. It will stop the dealing of alcohol production and transportation, so it will not get out of hand. It will also bring down the criminal activity involving alcohol.
I also agree that the amendment is a good addition to our Constitution because it will help bring down the death and crime rates that were work-related problems, social problems, and family abuse that all resulted from the use of alcohol.
It is going to be very difficult to enforce. I don't think it is going to work. Many people, including myself, will be selling and buying bootleg liquor.
What do you think the main purpose behind prohibition is?
I think the main purpose behind the prohibition movement is to protect people and the drinkers' actions. Many wives are unhappy with how their husbands are drinking at work, then getting injured while trying to solve their problems at a saloon, and spending their money on unnecessary things.
I think another reason for this is that we should be saving weed for the soldiers. Weed is a major ingredient in alcohol, and we should be saving weed for the soldiers so they're getting all the right nutrients that they need. Another reason is the Women's Christian Temperance Union. This was also organized by women who were concerned about the destructive power of alcohol and all the problems it was caused to families and society.
Al Capone, how did you become one of the most famous gangsters in Chicago at the time? How did this happen?
I became one of the most famous gangsters in Chicago at the time by making $60 million. I did this by having men smuggle alcohol from the Caribbean and whiskey from Canada. We opened up secret bars, were opened underground to make the smuggling possible.
In the 18th Amendment, it banned manufacture, transportation, and sale of alcohol, but it didn't actually ban the drinking of alcohol. Doctors could still prescribe alcohol for medicine purposes during this time. Do you think they should have worded the amendment differently to ensure all people understood that they should not be drinking at all?
Yes, I think the amendment should have been more clear about the terms of getting and drinking alcohol. Many people during this time were so desperate for alcohol that they went to the doctor with fake injuries and then were prescribed alcohol for their fake medications. Doing this led to many other problems and a lying community.
Peter Pan peanut butter only uses the best peanuts. The workers go through all the peanuts and take out the ones that aren't good enough with Peter Pan peanut butter.
It's the smoothest peanut butter ever created. It comes in a variety of different flavors and textures.
Welcome back to Meet the Press. Here we have Al Capone, Hannah Fremgen, and Sammy Sandbeck. Groups like the KKK and the WCTU strongly encourage prohibition. They wanted people to be hung, put in jail, put in concentration camps, not be allowed to go to church or be married, tortured, sterilized, and more. They also wanted the Bible to be rewritten so all references to alcohol would be taken out. Do you agree with these ideas?
I agree and disagree with the KKK and the WCTU. They both have good points, that we should ban alcohol because the use is getting out of hand, but I disagree with the punishments that they are going for. I don't think people should be hung, tortured, or not be allowed to go to church. I think that jail and rehab to learn the use of it and its safety would be a good punishment for the abuse of alcohol.
Cruises to nowhere were common because drinking was allowed on the cruises. Do you think that alcohol should have been banned on these as well?
I think that alcohol should have been banned on cruises even though it is in a different environment than land. Alcohol still has the same effects. The alcohol should have the same, if not worse, effects. During the Prohibition movement, alcohol should have been banned everywhere, not just in certain places.
The Great Depression in the United States was the leading cause to appeal in the 18th Amendment because people needed jobs. The production of alcohol allowed for many people to get jobs. In 1993, the 21st Amendment was ratified, allowing the production and sale of alcohol. This is the only time in history that a new amendment was created to get rid of another. Do you think this was a good idea?
I think adding the 21st Amendment to our Constitution was overall a good idea. There are many protests that occurred as a result of the elimination of alcohol, and with the new amendment, many people were happier and less violent.
Thanks for having me on the show today. It was a pleasure talking about prohibition and how many people like me tried to get around it.